Hi there, and thank you so much for joining me again on TJ on Twos. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for the love. I really appreciate it. Please stick around. You know how we keep it on this channel: authentic, neat and tidy, and straight to the point. If you're new, please stick around. I have an exciting video for you of the Yamaha MT-07. But before I get into it, I'd like to thank everyone for watching my previous video of the BMW F900 from the Motorrad family. So without further ado, today we're talking about the Yamaha MT-07, one of the most recognizable and popular middleweight naked bikes in South Africa as well as around the world. The MT-07 launched in 2014 and has remained unchanged for quite some time. The 2025 model offers quite a few updates, and I believe it will appeal to a lot of people now more than ever. In this video, we're going to take a closer look at the MT-07, updates for 2025, as well as the pricing, the cost of ownership, and ultimately who this motorcycle is for. To start with, the MT-07 is powered by a 689 liquid-cooled 4-stroke parallel twin engine that produces 74 horsepower versus 68 newton meters of torque, with a curb weight of only 184 kgs. The seat height is 805 millimeters, or just under 32 inches, and as you can see here, an average-sized human like myself can easily mount this beastly-looking motorcycle, and I say that with the utmost admiration. It has a 14-liter fuel tank capacity with a fuel claim consumption of 4.3 liters to the 100, but as you and I know, these figures are achievable only in near-perfect conditions, or if you have no aspirations of becoming a MotoGP star. I know I do. And on the topic of ambition, the MT-07 goes from 0 to 100 in a whopping 3.7 seconds, and the top speed is claimed at 214 kilometers per hour. Well, needless to say, the bandwidth of power is far-reaching, more than enough. The bike has seen a refinement in the suspension, and for the front, we have 41mm KYB telescopic forks, unfortunately non-adjustable, while the rear suspension is a KYB monoshock with preload and rebound damping adjustment. Now, if you like going fast, which I do from time to time, I do think of myself as a MotoGP star, or only in my dreams, but anyway, if you like going fast, you also want to stop fast. And as far as the brakes are concerned, for the front, we have dual 298mm discs, radially mounted 4-piston calipers, and the rear, we have 245mm disc single caliper with ABS and traction control for enhanced safety. The MT-07 is still very much recognizable, with minor updates for 2025. And while it maintains its minimalistic styling, the headlight has been redesigned, and I must say it looks really, really good. I don't know what you think, but please leave your comment down below. I think it has a really, really good finish. It's neat and tidy, and it fits the whole aesthetic of the bike. The MT-07 also features a full 5-inch TFT color screen display with smartphone connectivity as well as turn-by-turn navigation. And as you would have noticed, the bike also features LED lighting all around. Another update for 2025 includes the handling. The handlebars on the MT-07 have grown 18mm wider and are 22mm lower for a more aggressive riding position. The foot pegs have also been redesigned and have been lowered 10mm to enhance comfort. I know what you might be thinking, aggression and comfort in the same sentence. However, for motorcycles and people who ride motorcycles, this is very much a reality for them. I think we all want the aggression of riding a motorcycle, but we want to keep riding a motorcycle, and the only thing that makes us want to ride a motorcycle longer is comfort. So it seems in that department, the MT-07 has knocked it out the park. This year's model also includes 3 ride modes: street, sport, as well as custom. In many scenarios, you will be riding in street, sport, I guess, when you want a little bit more spirited riding. And of course, custom is one where you can design or customize to your riding style. Unfortunately, this bike does not come fitted with a quick shifter, which is a little bit disappointing in my view, considering that some of its rivals come standard with a quick shifter. Talking specifically about the Triumph Trident 660, which also just happens to have interesting updates for 2025. But I digress. For 2025, there are 3 color options to choose from. This particular model that you're looking at the moment is called the Tech black. And believe it or not, this is the first time in South Africa that we are receiving a black MT-07 from Yamaha. The frame of the MT-07 remains unchanged. However, for 2025, we have a refined suspension, newer electronics, ride-by-wire. It also includes safety features that it previously did not have in the outgoing model. I believe the outgoing model only had ABS, but now as standard, we have ABS and traction control. It was really important for Yamaha to ensure that this bike appeals or continues to appeal to a lot of people. I think with the updates for 2025, it remains a top contender in the ever-evolving middleweight naked bike segment. So now we know a little bit of what the bike is about. I think we took the spec sheet out. That's for the nerds. I'm more of a practical person. So what will make me buy a motorcycle is the feeling that it gives me when I'm riding it. So without wasting any of your time, let's get into the ride, and this will be a practical example of how it feels to ride the MT-07 in different scenarios, in the city as well as on the highway. I won't be doing too much talking. I just want you to experience the bike for what it is, and if you are interested in a test ride, I would recommend that you go to your nearest dealer. I borrowed this one from Linux Santon, and they'd be more than willing to assist. So without any further ado, let's get into it and enjoy. For as long as I've been into motorcycles, I've always liked and appreciated the MT-07. Its aggressive, hyper naked look has always been appealing to me. The look of the bike has always been appealing to me, and this year's model goes a step further with all the updates for 2025. The first thing I noticed when I got on the motorcycle was how roomy it feels. This may be attributed to the lowered foot pegs or the wider handlebars. Nonetheless, this is good news for taller riders, and I suppose anyone who decides to throw a leg over this motorcycle. The gear shifting on a CP2 engine is no problem. It is really, really, really good. The engine has plenty of character, and the 270-degree crank setup on the MT-07 sounds lovely, even with the stock pipe. brakes are really good, strong, I would say. I mean, I've been riding this motorcycle now for a little bit, and the initial bite might throw you off, but it doesn't take long for you to get used to them. I think overall I feel really good on this motorcycle. I mean, first of all, like I said, it looks really good as a motorcycle. It's coupled with good performance as well as good features. So as I've been riding now this motorcycle for some time, I noticed that the suspension on the bike is a little bit on the stiffer side. I think it suits my riding style perfectly, but this may differ from person to person. Overall, the motorcycle handles really well in the city. The refined suspension is something that you can definitely feel. The bike doesn't feel overly heavy. You throw it into a corner, you throw it into any situation, it will go where you want it to go. So from that point of view, I have no complaints. I'm enjoying this motorcycle as I'm riding it right now.
So who exactly is this motorcycle for? Is it for beginners? Can it be for more experienced riders as well? Where exactly does it fit in the category of choice? I think the MT-07 can be a real good beginner bike, but I'd be very careful as a beginner getting this bike. I think it's important, in my view at least, to have 3 to 6 months worth of riding experience. You need to have familiarity of how to handle a motorcycle of this nature. As I've indicated, the motorcycle is torquey, the engine has a lot of character, the brakes are sharp. So if you are inexperienced or you lack familiarity of what it takes to ride a motorcycle, you might find yourself in trouble. However, with that said, it is a fairly easy motorcycle to ride. So if you've been doing research on the MT-07, or perhaps you've watched this video and realized that the MT-07 might be the bike for you, for the pricing, we're looking at 178,000 Rand. And a bike like this would generally cost you north of 900 Rand for insurance, depending on experience, and other factors that include history, claim history, as well as the period that you've had your license. The service intervals include a break-in service at your first 1,000 kilometers, which you will pay roughly 1,800 Rand to 2,000 Rand, and thereafter service will be every after 10,000 kilometers or 12 months, whichever comes first, with anything ranging between 5 to 10% increase in the next service intervals or service costs. I don't know if I mentioned it, but the bike also comes standard with a 3-year warranty, so really good prospect to have there. So really, to conclude, the MT-07 remains a really good choice amongst its competition, namely the Kawasaki Z650, the Suzuki SV650, the Honda CB650, and perhaps its strongest competitor, the Triumph Trident 660. The MT-07 remains a really great commuter bike and a fun sporty machine for spirited riding when you need it to be. So, ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of our mini review of the Yamaha MT-07, a bike that has been hailed for its reliability and commuter capabilities. I would love to know down in the comments what you think of the MT-07. Is this a bike that you would consider buying? Is this a bike that you would shortlist, or would you completely ignore it for the competition? As always, I'd like to thank you for watching my channel. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'm really excited for what the future holds for this channel. There is definitely more to come. Again, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Adios.